Guys, this is Dark Horse Rowing, and today, which is better? Running, walking, or rowing? Now, in order to come to some kind of determination, we are going to use two variables in our evaluation of these three movements. Those are ability to induce work and safety. Now, let's evaluate them from those standpoints. Now, I'm not saying there aren't other ways of evaluating these, but from a coach's standpoint, I would say that these are two kind of primary factors in how we would evaluate the ability to use a movement for an athlete. Now, again, ability to induce work and safety. Let's start with walking. Okay, with walking, safety factor, very high. Right? We don't experience a whole lot of safety risks. You're not putting your body under great duress, which would increase the ability for something bad to happen or remove the safety factor from this movement. So on the safety factor, check. Walking does a pretty decent job of that. Ability to induce work. Here's where walking errs a little bit. Yes, you can create a gentle rise in heart rate. You could introduce a hill, which those of you who've gone hiking on steep hills or steep mountains, yes, you can absolutely elevate heart rate. However, ability to induce work, I would say, falls in the middle range when we are talking about these three movements. I would say it's probably the least on the scale of the three. Now let's take a look at running. From running, we can certainly induce work, from sprinting to hills to adding in a parachute if you wanted to. Or you can light jog. It allows you to kind of run the gamut of endurance, anaerobic, strength, what have you. However, if we look at it and evaluate running from a safety standpoint, we start to introduce a lot of impact to the body. You start to have a lot of joint issues that come into play because you're asking a high demand of up and down pounding on the pavement out of the joints. So if we were to stack that up on a safety factor, I would take running and I would put running at the bottom of our safety list. Now let's look at rowing. From a rowing standpoint, do we have the ability to introduce work? Yes. Both strength versus light work. We also have the ability to introduce very high intensity or low intensity workload. So I would say that we could fall pretty safely in line with running on that one. It may be, some could argue one way or the other that one is better, but I would say that they're fairly equal on the workload side. And on the safety side, we have a high safety rating, if you will, for rowing or the rowing movement because we remove impact, meaning you have the ability to move well without a high risk for injury. What it requires is that, yes, you are kinesthetically aware, meaning you are aware of where your body is in space and time. However, the risk there is quite low when it comes to injury. So if we are talking running versus rowing versus walking, running, rowing, walking, yeah, make sure I get all three, I would say that we have rowing as our victor. Now, of course, I might be a little bit biased. We are Dark Horse Rowing after all. However, if you take a fairly honest look at those three modalities of producing work, of creating anaerobic and aerobic work of some kind, and creating good systems efforts, right? Working through energy systems and being able to introduce the body to high and low intensity efforts, I think that rowing really does end up winning out in the long run. So running, rowing, walking, rowing takes the win today. Guys, this is Dark Horse Rowing talking to you about which is better, running, rowing, or walking. And as always, make sure you sign up for our newsletter. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. I want to hear your thoughts on which is better between the three if we were to stand up against those two evaluation factors, or if I missed an evaluation, also let me know, because we're happy to do another video where we introduce some of the other factors that you think are important to that evaluation. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter, The Hustler's Guide to Rowing, where you will get our latest blog article and video every single Tuesday morning in your inbox, bringing you everything that we've got to give when it comes to the knowledge that surrounds this beautiful world of the movement of rowing. Guys, we will see you on the other side. I think that was the last time we all played it.
Yeah. Nuts!
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah.